back to the channel. So if you're new here, welcome. I share content about my life as an OFW or expat here, working abroad, along with my love for food, travel, and of course, books. So if any of that interests you, make sure to stay tuned. And today we're talking about books. So this is actually my first time to create a content about my love for books, specifically the 4 books I've managed to read for the month of January. Now, if you've been following me or if you've actually watched my previous vlog, you know I actually pledged to read at least 50 books for this year. And ayun guys, 4 pa lang na libro yung nakaya kong tapusin because you know, life been super busy, juggling work, filming and editing the vlogs, and also there are other things I've been working on. And I usually get to read during my commute to the office in the morning and before bed at night. So yun lang yung time ko talaga magbasa ng libro. Of course, hindi naman ako nakakapagbasa ng books while at work. So ayun, 4 na books pa lang yung nakaya kong tapusin. Yun nga no, 4 na libro lang yung nakaya kong tapusin out of 50 books. But I'm sure magagawa naman natin ng paraan yan, and I'm definitely aiming to catch up and get closer to that 50 book goal. And ayun, actually kinakabahan ako as a first time gumawa ng content or video about, you know, book reviews. So, and as you can see in my background, wala akong kagaya ng ibang book reviewer na meron silang library sa likod, because guys, I'm an expat, I am an OFW, and kung napanood nyo yung mga previous ko na vlog, sinabi ko doon na I was in a big reading slump for about a year or more than a year. Hindi talaga ako nagbasa ng libro and never akong bumili ng kahit na isang libro during that time. And kaya ayun, I didn't manage to collect some books. And of course, mahirap din kasi mag-collect ng book if you are not, alam mo yung forever na magstay dito sa country na to. Because ang hirap, lalo na pag halimbawa you will decide to stay for good, hirap magbalot and ang hirap ipadala nito sa Pinas guys, kasi you have to really carefully, alam mo yung babalutin mo each of the book, and I still don't know paano ko siya i-manage. But I'm pretty sure na darating tayo sa point na dadami talaga yung books natin, and saka na natin problemahin kung anong gagawin natin doon. So for this vlog, I'm gonna share a little about each book that I've read, and I'll give you my quick review. But don't worry, I'll try not to give spoilers here as much as possible. Walang spoilers dito guys. If you are like me who loves to read books, or someone who are curious about these books, so make sure to stick around. Okay, so what genres do I love to read? I'm actually into fiction, most especially the romance, romantasy genres, but I can also read yung mga thrillers, mysteries, or horrors. But the problem is my anxiety really kicks in while reading that book, and even after I finish it, ako yung napapraning and na-anxiety. Parang laging nagre-repeat sa mind ko whatever yung mga binasa ko dun sa book. So kaya ayun. And for this year, I'm also planning to start reading mga historical fiction. The number 1 on my list is The Nightingale by Christine Hanna. But sold out kasi siya sa Amazon, kaya hindi ko pa siya mabili-bili. But I'm planning to go to Kinokuniya bookstore guys, sa Galleria Mall dito sa Abu Dhabi, because this is a very big bookstore. It is, I think, a Japanese bookstore, and ayun, I'm gonna check there kung meron silang any Christine Hanna books, kasi kung wala pa rin Nightingale, if ever it's sold out, maybe I will read yung The Women or The Great Alone, still from the same author, who is Christine Hanna, because I've read a lot of reviews about her, especially her works, as in sobrang ganda daw talaga ng mga libro ni Christine Hanna. So ayun, so let's start na kung ano yung mga natapos ko for this month of January. First on my list, my first read is actually Icebreaker. This is actually the first book from her Maple Hills series. Honestly, this was such a great start to kick off the year. And if you're on Book Talk or you follow any bookish content online, you've probably seen this pop up a few times. This is a mix of contemporary romance, hockey sports romance, new adult fiction, and I think friends to enemies trope. You know, it's got all that heart, the drama, and some swoon-worthy moments that will really keep you hooked from start to finish. So that's exactly why I decided to give Icebreaker a try, because if you've watched my previous vlog, my last read of 2024 was The Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. And as you know, it is a romantasy fiction. And honestly, after that emotional roller coaster from The Iron Flame, I felt like I needed something a little different this time, just to, you know, switch things up and avoid getting too overwhelmed of the book. If you're friends with me in Facebook also, you probably know that I really love the Empyrean series of Rebecca Yarros. That's why I think I just needed a change of pace and pick up this book. I was also thinking, while I'm waiting for the third book of the Empyrean series, which is, by the way, The Onyx Star, which I've already got, but we'll talk about that later. Honestly, Icebreaker totally hit the spot. It's got that kind of nakakakilig vibe. It really made me reminisce about my college days, the relationships, struggles, and the challenges we faced back then. I mean, when you're in college, you are always thinking about your future, uncertain of what things to do and trying to figure things out. In this book, we follow Anastasia. She's a figure skater, our FMC, and our MMC here is Nate Hawkins, a hockey player at the same school. Their stories definitely take you back to those formative yet messy but always memorable days in college. Even though it's not a 5-star read for me, I still really enjoyed Icebreaker, and one of the things I love is how each character overcome their own challenges or their own struggle. Like the MMC, who is Nate Hawkins, has his own issues to deal with back home, especially with his relationship with his dad, even though he is a kind of well-off. And of course, Anastasia also has her own emotional baggage that she has to work through. What I love is how, despite their struggles, they find relief and understanding in each other. So yeah, it's a light read, but somehow you can really still invest your emotions into it. The spice though, The spice, I think it's not for young adult, but though I think it's categorized at new adult content, but it says here 18 plus. Since this is the first book from the Maple Hill series, I'm definitely going to read the other two books, which I think The Daydream and I forget the title of the other book. If you are also curious about this book, you can actually search in Google Reads or even in YouTube or TikToks. Ang daming gumagawa ng reviews nito, guys. I give this a 3.6 or 3.7-ish star for me. So, next up is The Maggie Moves On by Lucy Score. This was actually my first book by Lucy, even though I've been meaning to read her Knock 'Em Out series, but I still haven't gotten around to buying it yet. But hindi ako nagsisisi na ito yung first read ko from Lucy Score. As in, sobrang light read lang din niya, guys. Sobrang ganda. It's a small town romance, contemporary fiction. Then, sobrang ganda niya. Like, parang nahook ako. For me, this book definitely has that romantic comedy vibe. It's about Maggie, our FMC here, who built her name and career through her YouTube channel. So, isa siyang YouTuber dito. And she's focused on home and property renovations. Her passion for rebuilding and transforming spaces has really made her a huge success, as in sobrang sumikat siya dito, guys, sa paggawa na ng content ng, yun nga, rebuilding, refurbishing properties, and then transforming properties, yun, parang nire-renovate niya. And because of her work, she always traveled hunting for properties in need of the Maggie's Touch. So, ayun, halimbawa, punta siya ng Manila, may nakita siyang isang property doon na gusto niyang i-develop or gusto niyang i-refurbish or i-renovate, mag-stay siya sa Manila. Or pagkatapos nun, pupunta na naman siya ng Cebu. Pag may makita siya doon na naman siya magsistay ng Cebu. So she's always on the run. And nasa road lang talaga siya. And kung saan yung project niya, doon siya magsistay. So that's basically her work. Because of that, her latest project takes her into a small town where she meets a hot landscaper in the name of Silas Wright. Ayun. So, napunta siya sa isang lugar na andun yung isang very hot, alam mo yun, to die for na landscaper. And, of course, yun yung naging landscaper niya sa project niya. And trust me, you know, the chemistry between them, as in, off the charts, like, oh my God, from the very beginning, yun, sila na yung, as in, yung parang, mahuhook ka na talaga sa love story nilang dalawa. And I absolutely love this book also, and honestly, it brought me back to the time when I was still in grade 6, you know, or high school-ish, reading and buying pocket books like crazy. As in, guys, for my allowance, nagtitira ako doon para may pambili ako ng bagong pocket book. Yun pa naman yung uso before, di ba? Kasi parang ganito, mahal pa dati. Meron din naman yung parang katumbas ng PHR. I think if I remember it correctly, it's the name of the publishing house is the Mills and Boon. Yung mga maliliit lang din siya, mga ganito lang siya kaninipis or kakapal na mga pocket books. So yun, kung wala akong maghanap na makitang magandang story or blurb from PHR, pumunta ako sa anong tawag nga ng bookstore na yun? Book sale. Yung book sale ata doon. May mga Mills and Boon sila na pocket books. I had my go-to authors in PHR and series, especially the Stallion Riding Club and Stallion Island, written by Sofia and Sonia Francesca, if I'm not mistaken, kasi sila yung favorite namin na authors ng kapatid ko sa PHR. And because sobrang gusto kasi talaga namin yung series, guys, sobrang ganun kami sa series na yon. And other than Stallion Riding Club series, meron din yung mga Christine series, Bad Brothers, Billionaire Boys Club. As in, nabasa ko yon. Though for Christine series, I'm not sure kung hindi ko nabasa lahat. Yes, hindi ko nabasa lahat. Yung Eagle and the Dove, PHR din ata yun. Nakalimutan ko lang kung sino yung mga authors nun eh. But sobrang favorite ko bumili ng PHR na pocket books. But aside from PHR, meron din mga outside PHR na mga gusto ko din na series, especially yung Montreal Empire Club by Katarina Paris. I don't know if if tama pa yung pagka-remember ko sa author na yun ha. And kung may nanonood dito na nakapagbasa din ng Montreal Empire, please, kung may collection pa kayo ng pocket book na yun, sabihan niyo ako kasi sobrang gusto ko talaga yung series na yun. And it's so nostalgic. Really, this book is really nostalgic for me because yun nga, I can really still remember the feeling while I'm still reading those pocket books when I was still in high school. This Maggie Moves On totally gave me that nostalgic feeling, reminding me of those simpler times when I was devouring those pocket books. It's like a throwback to my love for romance books, and it just felt so comforting to dive back into that world. And one of the things also that I love about Maggie Moves On is how Maggie finds a sense of family with the people she meets in that small town. As a YouTuber who is constantly on the move, refurbishing properties and the like, she's used to not sticking around in that place for so long. But when she arrives in this town, it kind of starts to feel like home for her, and she begins to struggle with the decision of whether to stay or keep moving. So it really adds an emotional layer to her journey. Silas here, he's the kind of guy you can't help but fall for because, you know, he's laid back, he's confident, and knows what he wants, but he does it all in his own terms, and you'll really definitely appreciate him as a character from start to finish. There are so many great supporting characters in this book also, and they really make you feel now you are part of the group. So what I also really appreciate about her is that she's so real. She makes mistakes, yes. She messes up, yes. And that made her so relatable. It was so easy to see yourself in her and really get invested into her journey. Maggie and Silas are definitely my best friend in this book. Like, I was so invested in their journey. How many times did I say that? Yes, because I truly am. I just love being part of their story, guys. And it had, you know, everything that I love. Great characters, slow burn romance, and that perfect mix of humor and heart. Such a fun and heartwarming read. I can't recommend it enough. Okay, so my third read is a bit of a shift from the first two, because this one dives into fantasy, powers, magic, romantasy, and a bit of dystopia. It's the first book of the Powerless trilogy by Lauren Roberts, entitled Powerless. So Powerless is about a world where most people have powers, and if you're powerless, your survival is really a huge challenge. Either you die or you manage to survive somehow. So there's this big phenomenon happened in Ilya, and those who make it through are given some sort of power. There's a variety of powers mentioned here in this book, and which really adds some cool layers to the story. And unfortunately, the our FMC here is paid in. Unfortunately, she's one of those powerless. She's one of those unlucky ones who doesn't get any powers, and because of that, it really affects her journey in this world of powerful. She has to figure out how to survive and navigate this world where she's seen as a weaker or less than. So things really take a turn for Paidin when she met the two princes, Prince Kai and Prince Kit. Those princes just so happen to be half brothers. You know, these two princes here completely shake up her world, bringing a whirlwind of drama, danger, and unexpected emotions. I absolutely love this fantasy genre. I think it all started with the Twilight Saga, and even until now, I still find myself drawn into this kind of book. After reading Fourth Wing and the Iron Flame, Powerless kind of gave me that same vibes though, but of course without the dragons, without Tarn and Darnayura. Yun, it's got that mix of magic, power struggles, and romance that really just pulls you in every time. And according to the author, this book is kind of a child of the Red Queen and the Hunger Games. I haven't read the Red Queen yet, but I'm definitely familiar with the Hunger Games, both the book and the movie. To be honest, I can actually see the connection. There's this purging event happening in the story where the contestants are basically fighting for their survival, and if you don't die, you win. Ganun lang. It really gives off that intense, high-stakes atmosphere that Hunger Games is so well known for. This book is one of those that doesn't have a ton of spice, but still so addictive. The world building, the tension, the characters just really pull you in, and you will really find yourself totally hooked without needing all the hit. It's got that perfect blend of action, drama, and emotional depth that really keeps you turning the pages. So I gave this Powerless book a solid 4.8 stars. It was such an engaging read, so intense, guys, and with great characters and world that really pulls you in. The only reason I don't give this a perfect 5-star though is that I think I'm saving something for other books, but it really got close to that 5-star perfect score. Powerless by Lauren Roberts. And to be honest, I actually already bought the second book of this one, which is The Reckless, which I'm gonna show you. This one here. This is the second book from the Powerless trilogy, and I'm planning to read this book this February, siguro after I finish reading the Onyx Storm. So, now, on to my last, but definitely not the least read for the month of January. This is Credence by Penelope Douglas. Pero wait, before I'm gonna give a blurb or a quick review about this story, I just wanna call out on Penelope. Friend, girl, naunsa man ka day? Oh my gosh, you know, this book, as in, day, maglaway ka sa libro, day. Siguro, okay, enough na yun na review dito sa Credence. Tama na siguro yun. Charot. But of course, I love talking about books. Let me give you a quick review about what happened in this book. Okay, this story follows Tiernan, whose life takes a huge turn when both of her parents unexpectedly die one morning at their house. So, she is then forced to live with her step-uncle, Jake Vanderberg, because of her late father's will. But, eto, yung step-uncle niya na yun, never pa niyang na-meet in her entire life, guys, as in. And imagine, because of her father's will, she ends up flying to her step-uncle's place, which is the super remote mountain cabin where it snows for 6 months straight. As in, 6 months daw nagsusnow yun. One morning, tinawagan itong si Tiernan ni Jake na, hello, according sa will ng father mo, ako daw yung magiging guardian mo. So, ayun. But, the thing is, titira ka sa akin sa mountain cabin ko and magsusnow doon ng 6 months a year. Ganun. So, meaning, she's literally stuck in the snow until who knows when. Diba? Huh? So, ayun. Imagine that. 6 months siya sa mountain cabin. So, snow. Heavy snow. Her step-uncle has 2 sons. Technically, Tiernan's step-cousin. So, family tree, diba? Anak ng step-uncle niya. So, step-cousins yung dalawa. And here's the twist. She is in her step-uncle's custody until she turns 18. But of course, for the plot of the story, when she turns 18, nag-snow dun sa mountain. So yeah, that's when everything turned upside down and her world totally flipped. And a lot of things happened here. And trust me, it's a roller coaster. So, like, this is really not your average family setup. Like, Credence takes some wild turns. And the family dynamics are definitely unconventional, to say the least. It's definitely a what the hell kind of situation. Ganun ko siya kayang i-describe, guys. Like, what the... Ganun. The way Penelope Douglas weaves everything together is really, 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 really remarkable, guys. It's one of those books where you're like, paano nangyari to? Nangyari ba talaga to? Ganun. You really just can't stop reading, guys. Actually, alam nyo, first day ko siyang binasa. I think 6 hours straight ko siyang binasa, guys. And because of Credence, this is where I understand the difference between spicy and smut books. It is such a unique read, and to be honest, this was my first time reading something like this. Penelope, girl, friend, yot, Zay. Basahon dyan ako yung uban libro, Zay. Now, actually, it's already in my cart, her other books, like The 5 Brothers and The Birthday Girl. Yun yung mga susunod kong bibilhin. Pero ngayon nasa book ban mo na ako, hindi mo na ako bibili ng libro. So, ayun. If you want to know what I mean, try reading this Credence book by Penelope Douglas. And I give this solid, guys, 5-star rate. Oh, wait, scratch. It's a 6-star read for me. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-star read for me, guys. Basta, yun ang gusto ko. Siya beyond 5-star siya for me. Basta di ko ma-explain kung ba't love ko tong book na to. It's just wild, it's intense, and it's totally worth the read. So that's it, guys. My 4 reads for the month of January. We have here Icebreaker, Maggie Moves On, Powerless, and of course, Credence. Guys, that's it for my 4 reads for the month of January, and I can't wait to see what I'll be reading for the month of February. But right now, I'm gonna show you a peek of my first of February. This is the first book of the Boys of Nomen series by Chloe Walsh, entitled Binding 13, and sobrang nahook ako guys, sobrang ganda. Isang libro pa lang yung na-purchase ko from the books of Tomen, the Boys of Tomen series, and I'm definitely going to buy the Keeping 13, which is the second book of this one. I love this. This is one of my babies right now. So if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you for sticking around. And if kung nagustuhan nyo yung content na to, please make sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know also kung you are also a reader, and kung may mga suggestion kayo ng books na gusto niyo basahin ko. I will really love to read your suggestions, guys, and I will really see to it na babasahin ko siya kung hindi ko pa siya nabasa. Ganon. So, ayun. Thank you so much talaga sa pag-support and panonood, and thank you. Kung gusto niyo yung mga ganitong content, paki-like naman dito sa video na to, and please subscribe guys, and hit the notification bell button para maging updated kayo sa mga new posts dito sa vlog na to, and of course para maging aware din kayo kung ano yung mga next uploads natin. So yun lang, and thank you so much sa panonood, and I'll see you on my next vlog. Bye!